Afternoon. Welcome to CCRC Test 5 review for Coach T's history class. Not going to be very long today. I'm going to go through some of the documents that I've already shown you in class, and I don't think I've done that so far this year as far as showing you what things, because you should be responsible enough to go through your documents and put things together. But I've already shown you the documents for this next test that you should be looking over, but let's go ahead and take a look at my stuff and maybe give you a couple of helpful hints along the way. Okay? All right, so first things first, what we're going to look at is that this is a test on chapter 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Yeah, it's a lot of chapters. If you need topics, well, here they are. It's the Industrial Revolution, the effects of Industrial Revolution on society. And 13 and 14 were about effects of Industrial Revolution in the North. You should have a visual of what Northern society looks like, dark, gloomy, crowded cities, but hey, we got cool stuff. And then Southern society, you should be thinking of a king, a boom, a belt, okay? Then we looked at this idea, what the Transcendentalists talked about, being above materialistic goods. Not everything good comes from materialism, so we need to rise above it. So chapter 15, we did a foldable that talked about different reform movements. So reform era is chapter 15. 16 to 17 is manifest destiny. So let's take a look what we have here. Okay, I have here chapter 13 and 14. Okay, chapter 13 and 14 notes that we did real quick. Okay, after, and let me get my documents out here, sorry. Okay, after we did building background knowledge, okay, on vocabulary. Okay, these are very important terms that we had to discuss when we went through the North and the South. Here, I can tell these are terms, right here, this upper part are terms related to the North, like textiles, the spinning jenny and the textile factories, interchangeable parts, Whitney, mass production, Slater and Lowell building the factories with their different types of workforces, families and women, the Lowell system being women, Fulton and his Claremont. We also talked about Supreme Court cases where the issue of state versus national government, which is stronger, which is better. I've got these steamships, so where should I have a state license or a national license? And if Marshall ruled in it, then he went with national government. Advances in communication and farming, and we'd look at Cotton Belt and Eli Whitney, and then we talked about the effects in the South, the institution of slavery. So this was one thing that we did. Okay, then in order to have a better visual, and here are the notes that we did. Okay, these are the notes that we've done. Okay, we marked those up. But in order to get a better visual of what we talked about, I showed you slides. Kind of like going through the North and the South via the Industrial Revolution. We looked at famous people, we looked at locations and concepts, whether it be families working in Slater mills, the Lowell girls, the effect of the clipper ship, Gibbons versus Ogden, the rocket, telegraph, and again, you should have a different visual of the effect of technology in the South. The effects of the cotton gin leading to King Cotton, everything revolving about King Cotton. Free African Americans, 1% of 1%, the proper image of the Southern society, the ugliness of slavery. Okay, pretty powerful walk. Okay. Then we just did a quick little review on some major concepts of machines, who did what, who did the metal plow, vulcanized rubber, Goodyear, power looms, machine factories that could spin and weave at the same time. Okay, you should have that in your possession. Then I'm pretty sure we took a quiz on that. Then the next thing we did is we went in the Reform era and we looked at different eras or different movements that spawned off during the Industrial Age. We got to fix prisons, because we don't know who to throw in there, and we're not teaching them a vocation. Too many people are drinking alcohol. We need to curb it, temper that. Education, common school movement, Horace Mann. Let's get everybody educated, because that is the great equalizer of all social classes. Women's rights. Well, women of the middle class started in abolition, realized that their situation is not much better, so we need to fix our situation first. Okay, Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Sojourner Truth, starting off in abolition, the movement to end slavery. Know the difference between Frederick Douglass and the Grimke sisters and Harriet Tubman and William Lloyd Garrison. Different levels of abolitionists, even different ideas of abolition. Free African Americans, equal, free African Americans, send them to Africa. I mean, there's a lot of different things we talked about in this. We took a quiz on that. Then the next unit we did was on westward expansion. And we did an activity where we basically we started off with doing the trails, the 5 major trails: California, Oregon, Mormon, Santa Fe, Old Spanish. That should mean something to you. And we did some facts on the back on that. And then we worked quite a bit on how to summarize the early histories of these 3 territories. Okay? And we also today did an activity after we looked at a review sheet right here. A review sheet, this is mine, all marked up, nice and pretty, with different answers. Okay? We looked at that and we took a quiz on that. But we also ended off today, this is what your blank document would have looked like. Okay? But we also today did a fairly good activity where we looked at documents, analyzed them through SOAPs as a group activity. The justification of the Mexican War. Were you a bully or were you justified? Manifest destiny. God has told you that you have this right, like the tree does to air. This I posted on StudyWiz if you wanted to take a look at it today. Okay, and going through my notes, okay, I see we had a benchmark, took a quiz, did the Santa Fe Trail. These are all the main documents that I would study for tonight for CCRC test number 5. One other helpful hint that I will tell you is this is the time, after all the practice that we've done, that you are going to have to write the essay after a brainstorm session. Remember that. We have to brainstorm through a hybrid. Okay, 4 boxes. One is a conclusion, one is the thesis. Although my mother is fat, I love her because 1, 2, and 3. But tomorrow, only 2 arguments. Conclude what you summarized through only 2 body arguments. And then write it in 26 lines or less. Okay? Good luck. Okay? See you later. Bye.